Ready for some more Animercials? Well, just so I can say I did more than one video about them, I've managed to find more commercials that feature animals to market all sorts of crap. So let's not waste more time. This is Animercials Volume 2.
Why mess around with strife?
I never was cut out. Step out and strut out. Give me the simple life.
Gaylord!
Okay, I know what this is leading into, but right away this is already dated. This is who they're calling for.
Gaylord, you look kinda crazy, you move kinda lazy, see what he'll do.
That's a face that just screams, "Put me out of my misery."
Gaylord, the pup is full of tricks. Watch. Back up, Gaylord.
Oh, what a load of dog poo. You just reversed the footage. Apparently he is powered by batteries, which aren't included, of course, has a magnetized nose, and I guess he can move with or without the leash. This is just another poor man's substitute for real pets, and it's just a slow-walking robotic dog. Oh, but I guess it is impressive for a robotic toy in the 60s, and people are suckers for those. I suppose to a little kid this would amuse them, though I agree with Fawful here. Leashing a dog named Gaylord just sounds wrong. Just what were they thinking with this?
Gaylord, when you pull his leash, he'll walkity-walkity-walk with you. Arf, arf.
Will you be the one to witness the birth of the incredible Nintendo Entertainment System?
It's just one console, but its marketing around the world depends on local circumstances. We had some neat pitches like in the US, where the NES is treated like a can't-miss phenomenon. Germany had one promoting the Super Set, even though the people on screen look like a crime family or something. So what is Australia gonna try here?
We are Nintendo Ultimate TV Game System. We challenge all players.
You know how people say that Australia has all those scary looking animals? Well, here they are making some Mario and Gyromite creatures into CGI monstrosities.
You cannot beat us.
What even is this? I know Nintendo is a dominant game company, but this is taking it way too far. I think this might actually scare people away from your product if we have to deal with Bowser and his circular teeth. Even the Duck Hunt dog looks terrifying.
We are Nintendo. We challenge all players.
Thanks, but I'll pass. I think I'll try out whatever Sega has lined up, thank you. Regardless, it's another memorable commercial that just happens to fit my criteria this time.
You cannot beat us.
Aw, look at the cute squirrel going for an acorn. Better not eat it on the road, uh-oh. Ah! Why are we screaming? Ah! Phew, that was close. Good thing cars with Bridgestone tires have great turning for emergencies like this. But let's be real, no squirrel would just stand there in such a scenario because they're gonna hightail it out of there. And then you'll probably end up running it over anyway. Besides, the real hero here is the crazy reflexes on that driver. I do find the screams funny, especially the grasshopper and his tiny scream. Apparently this was a Super Bowl commercial from 2008. And I kinda remember seeing this at least once. Bridgestone actually had multiple cracks at the Super Bowl, like this one involving a beaver. Again, this is just a unique scenario where you probably would end up hitting it, but then there's a follow-up where the beaver drops a tree on the road to stop the car. And why is it doing that?
For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars.
Personally, while the first one is amusing for the screams, I like the twist from the second one. Goes to show that doing a solid for nature could help you later on.
It's Bridgestone or nothing.
When kids crave the wildly fruity taste of Danimals yogurt.
Man, it's hard to find flavored yogurt that doesn't have added fruit. especially if you're trying to find something not aimed for kids. But hey, instead of the Yogo Gorilla, how about a bunch of random animals? The earliest I can find of their ads is from 1999 to the late 2000s, but the early ones had a similar animation quality to another.
Animals, kids, they're so fast. But heroes.
And then along came Zeus. He hurled his thunderbolt.
Whoa.
That's good animal hair. Yeah, from what I've seen, most of the time the monkey is doused with the stuff so he can just lick it off. But after the release of Danimals XL, they also introduced this character. Why is Bagheera from the Jungle Book here? Seriously, he looks kinda like him, just with a longer muzzle and purple fur. I guess he was the hip, cool guy that every kid wanted to hang with. Or maybe this is a Pink Panther knockoff. And remember how many people crushed on him the same way they crushed on Tony the Tiger? Guess when furries get into the commercial business, they sure knew what they were doing. Sadly, we don't see much of them anymore. And even the monkey got a downgrade in later ads.
Hey Daddy, watch this.
So drinking Danimals lets you enter the back rooms? Still, much like cereal mascots, all it takes are some funny or attractive looking characters to get you hooked on yogurt.
Excellent. Cannonball!
Oh, boy. Of all the silly gibberish.
Well, we get along.
Ah, yes, all the animals in the jungle are here to get along and amuse themselves.
Hang around till the leaves are brown.
You just wait until the camera stops rolling, you little snacks.
When you're not worried about potential dangers, the world can be a far less threatening place.
That's why you're using real animals who wouldn't hurt one another unless they're part of their food chains. Yeah, maybe not use nature itself to promote traveler's insurance. Yes, that's what they're promoting, even though their main insurance schemes are related to housing. Just a poor fit with Mother Nature's animals. Unless their insurance reaches other continents, this wouldn't convince me if your analogy is just this.
Take the scary out of life with Traveler's Insurance and see the world in a different light.
You don't understand, it's after us.
Oh, this one's a classic. Some dudes in the forest talking about a scary monster.
Bulgy eyes. Feathers, fur everywhere.
Yeah, and pigs can fly.
But is this game marketing Donkey Kong Land? Nope.
No bears can fly. Bad guys beware. Here comes Banjo-Kazooie.
Yes, the first commercial I've seen for this game was pretty misleading. The bear and bird seem frightening, but then you get this cutesy anthro bear in a 3D platformer on the N64. Well, why not? I loved Mario 64 when it came out, so of course I had to play this. The game had another ad too for one of those giveaways with the Keebler elves. And the Dude Kid.
Dude?
And Banjo-Kazooie of Nintendo 64 at your door.
I don't like how they're the only CG characters in this 2D commercial.
You can help Banjo-Kazooie find the magic puzzle piece or other things by scratching the square on the game piece inside Keebler packages. You could even win a Nintendo 64 home entertainment center.
Oh boy, that sounds cool! But now that I think about it, did anyone ever win these giveaways? I'd like to know, because it almost feels like a scam otherwise. But hey, at least it sold me on the game, and that's the important part.
Only for Nintendo.
This man right here is my great-grandfather. He was the first cat herder in our family.
Electronic Data Systems was a computer-based company that closed down in 2009. It prides itself on bringing information and technology together, and they represent this in the form of cat herding.
Cats, don't let anybody tell you it's easy. Anybody can herd cattle. Holding together 10,000 half-wild short hairs, well, that's another thing altogether.
I mean, it's not easy to get a cat to do anything. Hell, I can barely keep Loki in line. But to herd thousands of cats? That's nuts! I do love how they commit to the bit and even show what comes in owning a cat. It's just a novel pitch for a tech company, and I'm glad it exists. It's just so funny, even when they're trying to be epic.
DDS, managing the complexities of the digital economy.
穴吹き工務店キャンペーンガールは良い子のみんなもよーく知っている穴吹きんちゃん。
Hey, ever want to see Little Red Riding Hood be a company spokesperson for a construction company? Well, check it out! This seems innocent enough. I mean, some forest animals show up to dance during her song. It's all cute, but then this happens.
Wow!
So, are they a construction company or a pharmaceutical company? The hell does expanding chests or balls have to do with expanding buildings? Maybe there's some wordplay going on, but they didn't have to take that literally. Does it have to be so weird? I don't know if it's creepy, but...
穴吹き工務店
Yeah, this one is creepy. And I thought Blooper the dog was bad. But this is even worse if you consider the implications. Like, okay, it's for a brand of potato chips, and that's supposed to make you happier, which is why the dog is buying it for the kid. What, you upset your master likes a girl over you? And, oh no, what the hell is that pose? Why are you trying to make him attractive? I do find it funny how he tries to get the kid to play baseball, but then a rival shows up. This is the funny stuff I live to see. Of course, there seems to be duplicate scenarios with these commercials, as this last one has soccer and a girl this time.
Aliens.
No, don't eat those. Now you're gonna be body snatched or something. Just get the dog out of here. I'm sure everyone has seen one of these commercials at some point. In an attempt to get people to save the environment, Dawn promotes a particular brand of soap that is strong enough to remove oil from animals that get caught in the stuff.
These birds, once affected by oil, are heading back home thanks to Dawn.
Yeah, it's cute, but like many ads, it's just an excuse for Procter & Gamble to make themselves look good. The better way to help these animals is to hold oil companies accountable for their spills, rather than spending $3 to $10 to buy a bottle of Dawn that could maybe convince a corporate donation totaling a fraction of that for good causes. But look, cute animals! Yay! There's plenty of cases where corporations use animal tragedies to get attention. And while they can help, it still feels low effort and not much else. I won't depress you with some of the really sad stuff, so let's end this entry on a happy note.
What's for lunch?
Let's see, I got grapes, pineapples, bananas.
It's Hungry Hungry Hippo! Hungry Hungry Hippo! Hungry Hungry Hippo!
Oh, there were lots of games that had similar advertisement. At least this one lets you use your hands more. But it's still just a matter of getting the most balls, which the hippos seem to love. Yeah, I'm not gonna dig into that. Otherwise, I might find some hidden meaning between this and them having these jokes about hippo butts.
We're hungry, hungry hippos. We're in an eating race.
Actually, I did a count just now, and I conclude that I have the most balls. Well, there was a commercial for the game in the 70s. It's probably this commercial and its song that made the game popular. It's caught on so much that a movie adaptation is in consideration, but beyond that, it gets parodied a lot. Just make sure you don't invite these guys over to dinner anytime soon.
Hungry hippos! Hungry, hungry hippos! Hungry, hungry hippos!
He's the beast you loved on Super NES.
Oh, these are pretty cool bananas.
I'm on Game Boy, in an all-new game with all new enemies and worlds.
Yeah, to show more Donkey Kong ads, let's get the Land series in there. Nintendo had Game Boy versions of Donkey Kong Country, but they are marketed as Donkey Kong Land instead. And they are a little different from the Super Nintendo line of games with original levels and even some original enemies. I never played them, though I heard they were pretty good. This commercial for the first Donkey Kong Land game is memorable just for the meme of Donkey Kong getting squished by a Game Boy. I mean, it did start with the bigger Super Nintendo version, so the analogy works. And then there was Donkey Kong Land 2. How do we market the amazing but incredibly dark Donkey Kong game for the Game Boy? How about a bunch of chimpanzees singing and dancing to Gary Glitter's "Hey, because monkey, am I right?" Seriously, chimps are the go-to animal for funny shenanigans like this. I don't know how they managed to do this commercial with them, because really, they can be pretty dangerous with how strong they are. At least it didn't end up like Gordy's home. Oh, but anyway, how about that last game?
Your old pals Dixie and Diddy Kong have a new home on Game Boy and Super Game Boy.
Wait, is that Jeff Bennett?
Hector skateboarding without a safety helmet. Isn't anyone running his common sense? Glad to see some old friends as you battle nasty new villains.
It is him! Holy cow! You know, I feel like he did a lot of commercial work outside of movies and TV shows, so it makes sense for him to do it here. But like the Super Nintendo commercial, they make one critical mistake.
Your old pals Dixie and Diddy Kong have a new home on Game Boy and Super Game Boy.
How do they keep making this kind of mix-up? This is especially funny since, as far as I know, Diddy's not even in the game. He's only mentioned in the manual, along with Donkey Kong. Not to mention, he and Dixie both already made their home on the Game Boy with Donkey Kong Land 2. This commercial makes no sense. But I guess it's not as bad as the European ads for Donkey Kong Country 3.
You're thinking it's just some cheap makeover.
All in all, you could say that these ads were good matches to their products, and that they adapted the awesome Super Nintendo games into less than outstanding versions for the Game Boy.
So grab your bananas and swing into Donkey Kong Land 3 for Game Boy and Super Game Boy.
Ah, the joys of spring.
Ready for more Anthro stuff? Well, here's some for Old Speckled Hen, an English brand of beer that has some old commercials featuring a fox puppet named Henry. He's an old fart who wants a beer named after an animal he likes to eat.
Packet of crisps, please.
Oh, what flavour?
Pay attention, Barbara. Beer flavour of... Oh, you mean the crisps.
But then came the animated ads that came out in 2022. Which has a younger Henry doing what now?
You should try everything once. And they're right. As a fox of the world, I say you should try a Taiwanese meat tickling.
I suppose that makes sense.
Skinny dipping?
Yeah, they knew what they were doing with this. Unlike the puppet commercials, the voice work is a lot more convincing with how smooth and suave this Foxman is. The second ad is even funnier when he starts talking about trying...
a spot of taxidermy.
Did he murder this human just to make him into the thing they do to animals? I actually want to know how Animal Society works here, and I want to see more of this version of Henry. Everything about him is just so... cool.
Old Speckled Hen.
Oh, hello. You look nice. So why is everyone running away? Of course, because you have a pet panther. Not sure how you tamed one, but I can dig it. This lady has a pet tiger, another has an eagle, a shark, a jaguar, and the one thing they all have in common is a chocolate ice cream bar. My understanding is that this particular brand of ice cream is pretty damn good, as if eating it helps you unleash your inner animal. Thus it makes you all intimidating, yet somehow attractive, which also extends to the women in this ad, and in a good way. Here they have the presence to enter parties with their ice cream bars, because everyone sees them as these different animals. But men aren't left out of this either, as the last one we see naturally goes for the whole king and queen dynamic. This is the kind of ice cream intended for adults. If you want to seem as imposing as the fiercest animals in nature, just get yourself one of these and indulge your inner beast. Hey, Hey, these aren't Ninja Turtles. These are the Street Sharks, who, to be fair, were pretty cool too. They are big, muscular, and up against an imposing villain, so they have features that would sell for toys.
They bite, they kick some serious spin.
Yeah, biting was their biggest feature of all. Just the way they use them to deal with enemies is pretty neat, and there are tons of enemy types to snack on.
Can our 4 heroes stop Dr. Pirano's monster Calamari? My features will rule.
Oh no, not the spaghetti! Oh, and of course you gotta have a battle cruiser because Ninja Turtles had their own vehicle. Pretty standard toy setup for a 90s action cartoon. Some of the Street Shark ads use a mix of live action and CG effects, while others use traditional animation that look even better than the actual show. But one more thing before we move on, because I remember one product of theirs that I owned, and that's...
Yo, Blaze here! Now Jeff!
Yes, freaking hand puppets. That's how desperate they got with selling these things. And yet I had one, and it was the coolest thing ever. I guess you can say the commercial worked.
You make them bite, you make them fight. They kick some serious spins. Sharks, hand sharks. Street Sharks, hand sharks, blades, jab, big slamoo, and other figures each sold separately, new from Mattel.
Hamburger University with Ronald McDonald.
Good morning, class.
Wait, what's this doing here? I search for animal commercials, and this one pops up between that one Nintendo commercial and the Henry Beer commercial. Maybe the search engine is busted again. Still, I do have a couple of birdie-based commercials, so why not throw in one or two non-animal ones? Like this one, where Ronald talks to hamburgers about the Hamburglar. But uh-oh, he's already here and steals them behind his back.
Taylor! That's right. Uh-oh. Hamburglar.
It's a good time for the train.
You've got a lot to learn.
But what were they singing?
It's a good time for the train.
I only saw this through that one Twitter account which posts Ronald McDonald stuff out of context, and even now, I still don't get it. Instead, let's go back in time to when Birdie was born, I guess.
The early bird came to McDonald land. Whoa, open that box.
Ew, Grimace, why are you so scary? But yeah, inside the box was an egg. The mascots take care of it all night until it starts hatching. And Birdie apparently was born with clothes and goggles, because we don't want indecency in a children's commercial.
That's where I'll stay.
It's a good time for the great taste.
You betcha!
Of McDonald's.
Oh, that's what they mean. I thought the burgers wanted to go to the train station. There's another ad where Birdie learns to fly, and it has the better costumes than whatever the hell this was.
Oh, Birdie, don't cry.
I'll walk. That's the way it'll be.
Try once more, just for me.
And me?
Trouble me.
To be honest, I miss these McDonald's commercials. There's a charm to them that works for the young and old. There's also the matter of Squire Friedel, who's probably my favorite actor for Ronald McDonald, and assuming this is actually him in this commercial, I'm going to show the one funny one I like.
Food, folks, and fun.
Ronald?
Food, folks, and fun.
Ronald!
Yeah, I'm only suggesting this one because of one word that gets misinterpreted.
Food, folks, and fun.
Food, folks, and fun.
You know the one.
McDonald's
For food, folks, and fun.
Like, early on you hear it as folks, but ever since I saw this from a certain reviewer a long time ago, I can't help but think that he's saying the F word. It's whenever the kids say the word, pretty much.
We're looking for food, folks, and fun. Food, folks, and fun.
A fun commercial otherwise, just like the others, but kinda ruined when you look back on it a different way.
It's food, folks, and fun. Food, folks, and fun.
Food, folks, and fun.
Fun, fun, fun.
You know the one McDonald's. The food, folks, and fun. You know the one McDonald's. For food, folks, and fun.
Here's another commercial that's just adorable. First, this dog watches their kid jumping on their bed while the dad is building a trampoline outside. At least, it's the kind of trampoline with a wall around it. I sure as hell never had one like that. Then, as everyone goes to sleep, a couple of foxes come in and...
Can't stand the light.
See, foxes tend to jump into the snow like this, but now they use it to bounce. But why only foxes? Here's a badger to join in on the fun. Then some other forest critters show up too for the same reason, and that poor dog is watching and being jealous. He finally gets his time on the trampoline next morning, right in time for the little girl to see our Christmas present.
Leave all this to yesterday.
The point is that the trampoline is a gift for anyone. If pets had the money for it, they'd buy it up too.
The day when dreaming ends.
Hey, Mr. Beaver. Why are you beavering around?
Anyone in the mood for caramel? Well, how about the Cadbury Caramel Bunny? Her ads speak for themselves.
Where's milk chocolate melts with that dreamy caramel? You just have to take things really easy.
Like, my God, she just wants you to buy her candy brand, but to dial down the possible raunchiness, they make her a cartoon bunny. No way anyone could sexualize a rabbit that way, right? Yeah, no. As Ian Malcolm once said,
life, finds a way.
Why are you buzzing around? Haven't you heard of Cadbury's caramel?
Even in the early commercials, you can see the rest of the design catch up to her voice. The eyes are the primary feature, but her body slowly resembles more an anthro build. At some point, the artists just went all in, because customers responded well. There's some vague poll that suggests that this rabbit is among the sexiest cartoon characters, on par with icons like Betty Boop and Jessica Rabbit. Not too shabby, and I guess it speaks to what an audience wants from their mascots.
Tortoise here. Take it easy with Cadbury's Caramel and new nuts about caramel.
You ready to be the ultimate Pokemon Master Trainer?
Oh boy, I sure am. Are you ready, kid who sounds nothing like a kid?
Yes, I think I am. Then join the Pokemon Trading Card Game League.
Okay, this was a pretty cool way to get kids into the trading card game. Back then, some locations, like Toys R Us, would host special card game sessions for the kids to take part in for various prizes and stuff. I actually took part in some of these meets, at least until I switched over to Yu-Gi-Oh! And entered those local tournaments. Obviously that was a long time ago, but these events are a good way for kids of any generation to meet other kids who share a common interest. That said, the ads don't do a good job of getting that point across. One tries to make it seem like a totally hip and cool thing, while another tries to imply that only other players can understand you at a level that parents can only dream of.
No snacks before bedtime.
Help unload the car.
Remember my birthday.
Don't sleep so late.
Wear a clean shirt.
Lock up your bike.
Turn down your music.
Hi, Spike.
Bark, bark. Chase, chase.
Play with people who speak your language.
Pokemon! Promo cards! Meet new friends!
Then, just to maybe make the kids seem dumb or whatever, we get one ad where a kid tries to get his dog to pretend he's Pikachu.
Go! Peekaboo, choose your thunder zone.
This really only worked back when Pokemania was so overwhelming that even adults were invested in collecting the cards. But kids like me wanted to play the game, and seeing these ads just opens a whole can of nostalgia for me.
Log on to wizards.com. Go forth and be a master.
Okay, this last one isn't anything too big. It's not weird or anything creepy, but it's just something wholesome that will make any generation feel old. Presenting...
Now your child can visit steamy jungles, grassy plains, and the dark depths of the oceans.
Before I got into Nintendo Power, Zoo Books were the first subscription-based magazine I got into. This I know because I used to have them all stored at my grandmother's house. I don't know where the stash is now. Maybe some other relatives have it. But the magazine lasted until 2016, which is pretty recent. Looking back, they were pretty cool.
Each monthly issue of Zoo Books is packed with breathtaking full-color photos and scientifically accurate illustrations, plus games and puzzles.
Of course, with the internet, it's easy to get this footage with better quality. But pre-internet, most people had nothing but books, magazines, and a bit of imagination to learn about these things. The subscription at the time was $20 for 12 issues, a free 13th issue, stickers, and the Tiger poster. It was a fine deal. though I'm pretty sure inflation would have hiked that rate before the magazine series ended. Oh, and we still had these commercials that had the mail order number at the end.
12 fascinating issues of Zoo Books for $19.95. Call 1-800-441-2400.
Yeah, it was a different time before ordering stuff online was commonplace. Nevertheless, the results were still the same. See something you really like? You get it. For kids, it's as easy as showing animal art.
Order Zoo Books today and send learning and fun to a child you love.
Well, that's all the commercials I have to offer. I think I had a pretty good selection this time. Next up will be the bonus objective before we do more Patreon requests. Until then, I'm the Media Hunter. Media is my prey and reviewing them my way.
Consommé, consommé punchy. You. Consommé, consommé, consommé punchy. Punchy de genki, consommé punchy.
Hey, Daddy, watch this.